Hello everyone, I just got to work and I only have a few minutes before I have to go in, and I recorded this video already actually on the way here by just kind of having it in my hand with the steering wheel, not looking at it of course because that would be dangerous. But it was terrible, it was just really terrible. I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to say things and just constructing weird sentences and just making no sense at all, so I'm gonna do it again in like 6 minutes. So here we go. Johnny, you asked how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. My answer is it depends. I mean, if the woodchuck's chucking wood, he's throwing it, right? I mean, he's a little rodent. I mean, what kind of wood are we talking about? Is he chucking twigs? Is he chucking logs? I mean, I don't know. Is he chucking like walnut wood, or is he chucking balsa wood, or what kind of wood is he chucking? I mean, there's too many variables here for me to make a decision. So my answer is it depends. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? It depends, okay? But then again, he is a woodchuck, and that's kind of his thing, chucking wood, so maybe he could chuck a lot of it? I don't know. I also wanted to chime in on the superhero debate. Johnny, I think you're right. Spider-Man is an awesome superhero, and you're also right. Batman and Iron Man are not really superheroes. I mean, they have no superpowers. Batman's a ninja, yeah, but there's also real-life ninjas who are actual, ninjas and not superheroes. Iron Man's just a dude who built a suit. I mean, anyone could do that. That doesn't make you a superhero either. You could argue, I guess, that Iron Man, the suit, is the actual superhero, but that doesn't make sense. That's just a suit. Anyway, I would say one of my favorite superheroes is Deadpool, because he has so many cool powers, but he's also kind of weird. So I would say Wolverine's pretty cool. I like Wolverine's story a lot, and his personality, and his, just him. Although Captain America, I would have to say, is probably hands down my favorite right now. Anyway, I want to talk about capital punishment today. Johnny, you talked about abortion, so that made me want to talk about a social issue that's kind of controversial and also kind of important. So here we go. There was a case in Oklahoma just this week, at least in the news this week, where an inmate was executed, but the drugs kind of didn't quite do the job, and he took about 45 minutes to die, at least according to this article I read. This has caused a lot of controversy, and people are examining whether the death penalty is actually a good idea. I mean, that's not anything new, but anyway. I just wanted to give some thoughts of mine about it. This has always been something I've felt, moderately about. I've never felt super strongly or super, passively about it anyway. But my opinion is, yeah, capital punishment is great, at least for those heinous crimes that, are just completely no. Like one of these guys that was executed at the same time as this other guy in the article, he raped and murdered an 11-month-old baby. I mean, no. I mean, as a Christian, yes, does he deserve to live any more than we do? No. We all deserve death. I mean, if you're a Christian, that's what you believe. And yet God is merciful, and he forgives us, and we are called to forgive others. But is the state called to forgive others? I mean, God puts governments over us to promote justice. And if justice means killing them, I mean, I think that's something justice extends to. I mean, it's a hard question. I mean, does the state have the authority to decide someone is going to die? I think it needs to be a unanimous decision by the jury, only for use in the most heinous of cases, like that one, or like one I saw in a Russian prison documentary about this guy who killed his neighbor and then ate his body. Stuff like that. I mean, yes, you could give them a life sentence, and hey, that might not be a bad option, but our prisons are so crowded right now, and I think it's perfectly legitimate to use capital punishment in cases like that. I have no problem with that. I don't like making people wait years and years on death row before they're executed. I think that borders on cruel and unusual. So I don't know exactly what the policy is or why that happens. Maybe it gives time for new evidence to surface or something, just to make sure that they actually did it, which is great. I mean, we shouldn't execute innocent people, of course. But that's something I don't like about it. If we could just have a conviction in this open and shut case where the jury all goes for the death penalty and really thinks that this guy, murdered 10 people and, everyone saw him walk into the crowded theater and open fire and that kind of thing, we can just go ahead and take him out back and shoot him up with drugs and then we're done. I realize that's not quite practical in all cases, and there's almost never black and white in these sorts of things. But that's just my opinion. I think it should be very rarely used, for sure, but I think there are circumstances in which capital punishment is totally justified. Anyway, you guys probably have your own thoughts, and I gotta go into work now, but yeah, anyway, Josie, I think I need to ask you a question, and I was going to ask you, what is your favorite gemstone? I really like gemstones, and I'm fascinated by shiny, sparkly things. So yeah, tell me your favorite gemstone and why it's your favorite. But anyway, yeah, I gotta go, but I will see you guys later.